Part of me thinks that if Canon really wanted to like flip off Tamron, this is how they would do it. What an interesting day to be into videography or photography, to be a general camera lover. Hi, my name's Josh from Videos by Josh, and today we're going to talk about Canon's newly announced 24-105 f2.8 zoom lens. Please, I welcome you to fact check me on this one, but I believe this is the first lens in history that's a 24-105 full frame f2.8 constant aperture lens, which is absolutely huge for creatives. A quick rundown on camera lenses. Of course, you have your zooms and your prime lenses. Prime lenses are a fixed focal length, while zoom lenses cover a variety of focal lengths. Now, within the photography and the video creation space, you have your Holy Trinity. The Holy Trinity is a nickname given to what professional photographers often refer to as the essential three zoom lenses. Those zoom lenses being the 16-35, the 24-70, and the 70-200, all at a constant f2.8 aperture. And now we have the 24-105 f2.8 from Canon, disrupting the whole thing. Let's go over the specs really quickly for this lens. The 24-105 f2.8 is an internally zooming lens with dual nano USM motors. It is heavy, about 400 grams heavier than the 24-70 RF 2.8. It's a hybrid photo video lens. The new lens also provides 5.5 stops of image stabilization with up to 8 stops in tandem with in-body image stabilization. You have a maximum magnification of 0.08 at 24 millimeters and 0.29 at 105 millimeters. Your minimum focus distance is 1.48 feet, 0.45 meters, which is actually quite good. You notice by the red ring that it's an L series lens. That means it's Canon's professional line. The lens has a traditional RF build made with a hard black plastic and rubber, and a first for Canon, a declicked iris, which can control the aperture of the lens automatically or manually via the ring. And it's weird because it actually can't be clicked. Unlike Sony lenses like the G Masters, which can be clicked and not clicked, this has to be unclicked. The lens has been advertised as being electronically parfocal, meaning that the camera lens should, in theory, keep your focus on the same spot as you zoom. And oh my god, are we breaking the bank with this one. Much like some of Canon's really unique offerings like the 24-70 f2, this lens is coming with a pretty hefty price tag of $3,000 USD. I'm going to be honest, this lens caught me off guard. The 24-105 focal length has long been reserved for video lenses in the f4 range. Those typically have been good lenses because they've offered extra coverage on the far end for shooters who only need that one lens, the f4 being a small compromise for that extra reach. But now we get a 24-105 at f2.8 and I'm just dumbfounded. I didn't even know that was possible. Speaking as someone with a general knowledge of how camera lenses are made, a lot of people don't understand how difficult it is to make fast zooming glass. The RF 24-70 2.8, let alone the 2, is already a feat of engineering. So when I said earlier that I didn't think 24-105 2.8 was possible, it's because I had never seen it before in my entire career as a videographer, video shooting person. New lenses that we've never seen before in focal length or aperture qualities are so interesting to me because they represent essentially the new horizon of what you're able to create as a camera brand. Like Canon releases this, first of all, RF users are in paradise because if this is something you were really looking forward to, you have it now on this system, and you can say that it's on no other system. Nikon doesn't have this, Sony doesn't have this, Panasonic doesn't have this. This is unique to Canon, which offers a pretty good value proposition into the space if you wanted to get a Canon camera, but you couldn't prioritize purchasing the three Holy Trinity lenses. I've often said 24-70 by itself is good enough for professional work. 24-105 just sweetens the deal. It's one thing for third-party lens producers like Tamron to push the envelope, to put pressure on bigger brands like Sony and make a cheaper, different, more unique, and in some ways better version of what Sony might be producing. But when a first-party lens manufacturer with their own mount starts to innovate in ways that I've never seen before, that's what really gets me excited. And I think this lens is going to be a great lens for the people it's targeted to, and that is primarily video, photography, hybrid shooters who need that fast aperture and want to be able to shoot wide and long without making that lens change. So going back to the Holy Trinity, what does this mean for the three lenses? Unless you need something specific like the RF 10-20mm f4 on the wide end, I think Canon's first Holy Trinity lens, the 15-35 RF f2.8, is essentially safe. This lens hasn't been replaced by this new lens. It's still a great buy. Now the question becomes, what do you do about the other two? Traditionally, you'd also pick up a 24-70 2.8 and a 70-200 2.8 to complete the set. But now we have the 24-105, essentially offering a functionally more useful lens than the 24-70 while also creeping into the 70-200. Personally, I'm a diehard for the three lenses. I wouldn't pick this one up unless I needed that specific extra 35mm in one single lens. Those three lenses as the Holy Trinity have been going quite strong. And while yes, I sometimes think, could I get a bit extra reach off this 24-70? Of course, that would be great. But looking at this lens, it's big and it's heavier. And that's something you're going to have to consider when evaluating your purchase. I guess what I'm saying, for me, the benefit of the extra 35mm of length doesn't outweigh the increase in price and increase in weight. I'm already seeing reviews come in from early copies online showing how sharp this lens is and how well controlled some of the optical abnormalities that you have to deal with long zoom lenses are with this lens. So Canon looks to be doing a great job in their upper end lens lineup for quality. So the question then becomes, what camera do you use it on? Because Canon doesn't really have a lot of RF cameras that are more focused on video. You have the R5C and the C70, and then you have the Red Komodo and the V Raptor cameras, and that's it. So I hope that the release of this lens is a sign from Canon that they are going in the direction of promoting more video-related equipment. I'd love to see some more cameras with the RF mount, and I do really like Canon's thinking on this lens. Part of me thinks that if Canon really wanted to flip off Tamron, this is how they would do it. Because for a long time, Tamron has been the one known for the interesting, innovative lenses. Like Tamron has their 70-180 that's super popular on the Sony side. And then they also have that super wild 35-150 2-2.8, which is just such a crazy focal length aperture combo. A variable aperture lens in the professional space, God, you're really pushing some professionals on what they're willing to tolerate. I mean, that's tough. I couldn't get behind it, but I love the range. I am starting to worry a bit about how saturated this specific area of Canon's lineup is. Here's what I mean by that. If you are looking for a lens that covers the traditional 24-70 range, you have a ton of options. Well, first, you have the traditional 24-70 RF 2.8. Then you have their innovative, but also super heavy and super expensive 24-70 f2. And then you have this lens, 24-105 f2.8. But then you also have the other lenses that are amongst the lineup, like the 24-105 f4, the 25-105 f4 to f7.1, and then the really extreme, the 24-240 f4 to 6.3. And I know those last lenses aren't necessarily professional lenses, but it does show that Canon is competing pretty heavily with themselves in the RF mount on these lenses, and that doesn't even cover all of the older EF glass that also covers that range. So if you're a Canon shooter and you need this focal length covered, you have many options. But I guess the question we're looking to answer, is this option the best? And I have to conclude with, it depends. Like, I really like the 24-70 f2. Such a unique lens, getting a zoom lens down to that f2 range. If you have the money, that lens is incredible. And I'm on the record at saying the RF 24-70 and even the EF 24-70 are awesome lenses that I relied on for a period of time when I was a Canon shooter that really never let me down. And I don't mean to be jaded about this new lens. I'm sure it's going to do an incredible job, and I'm sure it's going to save people a lot of money. Maybe you don't have to buy that third Holy Trinity lens if you can make do with wide and 105 as your max telephoto. It all depends on what you shoot. But what do you think about the release of this new lens from Canon? What do you think about Canon prioritizing this over other lenses in the space? Like, I'm pretty sure they don't have an RF 35-1.4 yet. Stuff like that, rounding out the space. Do you like it that they're kind of swinging for the fences with some innovative stuff, or would you prefer that they round out their lineup similar to how they had the EF line out there? Let me know down in the comments. I read every single one of them, and I'll do my best to get back to you if you have a question or anything like that. I've said this before in my other videos, but I just want to thank everyone watching for 1,000 subscribers. I honestly didn't think I would get here, and now I'm here, and I'm like, what am I doing? I have 1,000 subscribers, so now we're gonna make 2,000, I guess, or we're gonna shoot for 2,000. I don't know. I'm just making videos, but I do appreciate you sticking around, watching the video, and contributing to that. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.